Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? This is Enrique, and this is Easy Things to Draw. What is up? Today I'm going to go over how to draw opening lids. And I'm not going to be going over, for example, if you're a product designer and you're designing a vacuum or a whatever device, you're going to have to use grids, all kinds of stuff, ellipse guides, and to make it exact. I'm talking about drawing opening lids for just like in your sketchbook or for illustration, for like illustrators, it doesn't have to be dead on. It just has to be close enough. You can eyeball it and you can make it close enough, without having to measure it. So I'm going to be talking about in that kind of more relaxed way. Maybe I'll make another video about the whole grid thing, although I find that very boring. That's why I wasn't a product designer. So let me talk really quick about some of the basics, right, of the lids. I'll go over the duh stuff, so let me take something I have in my house. And this is the thing I keep my Wacom tablet in. Really nice, huh? And as it opens up, right, there's kind of this, obviously the hinge, or you can call it a pivot point, would be right there. Even though it's not actually like a, per se, a hinge, it's kind of like just a piece of folded plastic. It works the same way a hinge would. And as it opens, it's going in a circle, right? Like if you were to put a line here and draw it, like if you were to put a line on the bottom, it opens up in a circular pattern. That's kind of one of those things that you have to keep in mind, because some people think when a lid pulls up, it goes up. It doesn't really go up. It kind of goes up in a kind of circle, and kind of an ellipse. I hope, Anyways, I know what you're saying like, whatever, of course. So if I look at this box here on top, I drew this box on this side, and what I was going to do was I was going to redraw the box on this other side. And that was kind of my plan. But I haven't actually had time to draw the rest of the box in. I'll draw it later. But see, I'm thinking about the lid opening up, and so because I know if it was completely flat, like this, if it was completely flat, it would open up in pretty much a complete circle. You know what I mean? Let me draw this so you know what I'm talking about. Let's take this and put it completely in profile, so you're looking at the side of it. It looks like a slanted washing machine or something. Let's say you're imagine that completely to the side. You're looking at this side of it. So if this lid pivots, right, it's going to open. That's the middle. It's going to open as a complete circle. That lid, when it opens up, if you look at it from the right side, sorry I keep repeating myself, but that's the trail it's going to follow, wherever it may be, right? Obviously, it's going to hit something. There's a clearing point, because it's going to hit the back of this little machine here. It's just going to stop right here, if that. But it does travel in a circle. So when you have this particular box in perspective, like right here, see, it's kind of like angled that way. You're looking at it 3/4. Then it's going to be an ellipse that you're using, see, to kind of find the point at which it travels. And that's kind of, honestly, eyeball, what do you call it? Eyeball it, to be honest. I think of that and I slightly turn it. And I honestly just eyeball that ellipse. I'm going to go over that in a little bit, like how to draw an ellipse from, just from your head. But honestly, the ellipses are pretty easy. They kind of told us to eyeball them in school. You can use an ellipse guide, but like I said, we're not doing that. We're doing just for sketchbook. So I tend to use an ellipse, and I don't draw the ellipse like that, by the way. I'm just drawing it so you can see it. And so that's what I'm talking about when I think about that. Let me go into some specific examples. Here's a gun opening up, and revolver. The hinge, the pivot point would be right here, right here when it opens up, so you can load it up. And that's what I did. One of the hard things too, to be honest, when you're doing this, when you're showing, is to try to draw this stagnant part right here, this static part. Trying to draw it over again, like exactly, is hard. See, I didn't even get it. I'm not a robot. I just did it as close as I could. But I'm changing this stuff over here, and this is actually interesting in itself because this is a little bit incorrect as I drew it. This gun, I'll tell you what's incorrect. I didn't know about it, but I can kind of talk about it right here. This gun, if you can look at the curvature, it's pointing off that direction. It's pointing away from us. Okay? But when I opened it up here, it's actually pointing toward us, if that makes sense. Let me know if this isn't making sense. Ask me below, because I am kind of going fast through this. So when I opened it up, I accidentally changed the way it's turning. See, this is turning away from us, and this is turning toward us as I opened it up. You can tell that because the bottom portion right here of the ellipse is pointed at us. So that was a big mistake on my part. If we go below, how we apply this to, like, masks and things like that. This is the same thing as, above. I drew this, I don't want to show the mask opening up. I kind of ghosted in that image first before I actually go into the line. So this is actually the first version, right? Spacesuit. I wanted to make this little side door open up right here. Like right here on this side. That would be opening up. And I wanted to make this door open up that way, And one thing I really thought about is the shape of this mask. The shape of this mask, if you were to take it and see it in profile, it would be this shape right here. It's not just a flat piece of glass. The glass is shaped, like it goes around the corner. And so because of that, that pivot point is going to be way in the back over here. And I have to make sure that stuff clears as well. Where is it going to, hit and stop? Most likely it's going to hit this little ball on the other side and just kind of stop over there. And, but yeah, let me kind of draw this, and I'll kind of go over the techniques as well. I like to put these little arrows too, to kind of show what direction things are flowing. So it's real obvious to the viewer. As you can see, I kind of put them all over the place. But let me go into this drawing real quick. So when I'm drawing this line, I ghosted in right, but now I'm going to change it. As I solidify this line, I'm going to go down here to this other line, and that's going to be even as well, because they're both on the same axis. They're same on the, what do you call it? They're parallel, so they're not going to touch ultimately. Go there, I'm going to connect those lines, and I'm going to throw in a little thin line as well, to make it look like that glass or whatever has depth. Just a little bit. Could have done that a little bit cleaner. I didn't. And I want to throw a little latch over here. Now latches are going to be tiny. This is really tiny stuff. That's why I recommend getting a good pen. I like using, and I've mentioned this before, I'll mention it again. I use the Zebra F301. I get it in Office Depot. They're all over the place. If Office Depot is a place that's available here in the States. I know some people are watching from the UK, and I'm not really sure if they have it over there. If they do, they do. If actually anybody from the UK, can you tell me if you have an Office Depot over there, or just some store? I know you guys have stores that you sell pens in, but I wonder if you have an Office Depot specifically. I don't know if that's a international thing or just a national thing. Go over here, put that extra line. I'm going to be thinking about this line turning the corner, because this lid is turning the corner. So think about these access points. Coming down here, I'm going to give that slight thickness, so I'm thinking in these lines. And it's going to turn. It's going to latch in there. There might be stuff in the way because this face is going to be in the way. And this is also parallel to this, right? So I have to remember that part as well. Take your time. That's a big part of this. I would say take your time, but also pull your strokes directly. Be very direct, like this. Think about this. I want to go over this stroke again. I'm trying to pull it to the point where I'm not trying to feather it out. You know, I know I talked about this in another video. With tech and things like that, you have to pull them kind of like extendedly. Like, don't just go feather, feather, feather. I mean, I do that in the beginning to kind of like figure out where things are to be placed, but when I finally decide where, I have to go pretty directly. Dang, I kind of feathered that. Anyways, that was just a little bit about how to draw things that open up. I hope that kind of made sense. I haven't really... It's weird because I've done that so much, right? Like, I've done it in drawing. I just haven't explained it to anybody verbally before. So please give me feedback if there's anything else. I'll make a follow-up video if you guys need it, but please let me know. And thanks a lot, guys, for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll talk to you later on.